Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and today we are talking about some breaking Afghanistan news regarding how Airbnb, the company, says that they are going to temporarily house 20,000 Afghan refugees, which is great news. Also, the Taliban says that they won't allow Afghans to leave the country, and they're actually now rejecting evacuation extensions. We will also address some of the major backlash that President Biden has received because of this Afghan evacuation. And lastly, President Biden says that the United States is actually on pace to evacuate everyone from Afghanistan by August 31st. So we will start with the Airbnb story. Now, right now, Airbnb is a lifesaver because the company is currently going to start hosting 20,000 Afghan refugees all around the world, and it's going to be free. And this was tweeted out by the CEO of Airbnb, Brian Chesky, who tweeted out by saying, "Starting today, Airbnb will begin housing 20,000 Afghan refugees globally for free." However, he did not specify how long this would last or how much the company is spending to make this possible. At the time of this video, there has been around 48,000 evacuations from Afghanistan, so those people are safe. However, there are still thousands of people still there that need evacuation. The Airbnb CEO went on to say that this is one of the largest humanitarian crises of all time, and that he hopes other businesses step in and host refugees from Afghanistan. He even has been urging current Airbnb hosts to reach out to him directly so the company can set them up to house a family from Afghanistan, which again, props goes out to Airbnb and their CEO for doing this because they don't have to, and this is going to be very charitable of them to do this because I can only imagine the money that they're going to be spending. Also, this will probably boost the public relations of their company, so in the long run, this could actually help any companies that reach out and do this. Now, after the Airbnb CEO tweeted out, another company, specifically Texas Medical Technology, reached out and they told CNBC that it plans to hire 100 Afghan refugees within a year to work at their manufacturing facility over in Houston. Airbnb as a company sits at around $100 billion for their market cap, and their ticker symbol is ABNB if you want to invest into their stock. And Airbnb is also known for being very generous to their hosts by covering certain costs during emergencies. So this type of behavior for Airbnb is actually expected because overall it's a great company. According to CNN, the Taliban said recently that they are not going to allow the evacuation of Afghans anymore, and the US must stick hard to their deadline of August 31st. The Taliban also spoke directly to all the people wanting to leave the country and said that if you go home now, that you're not going to face any repercussions under the new leadership. Clearly, they were talking about the people in Afghanistan that actually live there, but I highly doubt anyone's really going to pay attention to what they say because they want to get out of the country as soon as possible. Many of the people who are currently fleeing the country are educated people or women, because under Taliban rule, women aren't allowed to be educated, to go to universities, to learn, and they're also not allowed to work. Right now, the G7 leadership want to make sure that anyone who leaves the country is able to, so they called on the Taliban to guarantee safe passage for anyone wanting to leave the country even after the deadline of August 31st. If you didn't already know, G7 or Group of 7 consists of 7 political leaders from Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, United Kingdom, and the United States. While all this is going on, the CIA director, whose name is William J. Burns, met with the leadership of the Taliban as they exchanged views and what needs to be done. Likewise, the Biden administration has been in constant contact with the Taliban in this major evacuation process. However, even though the Taliban is in contact with the Biden administration, the CIA and G7 leaders, they have not changed their mind about the hard deadline of August 31st. Because of the pressure over in Afghanistan, many people have second-guessed President Biden's evacuation tactics, including Byron Donalds, who says this, and I quote, "The purpose of issuing the call is for the American people to understand that we have no leadership coming out of the White House. This isn't even about politics. This is about the stuff we argue about on Capitol Hill every single day. This is about our standing in the world, our standings, frankly, as opposed to being the nation that leads all other nations when it comes to freedom and liberty and standing by our allies. This president has abdicated all responsibility under his leadership. He has not taken responsibility. He just throws the words out. Members of the British Parliament are openly challenging the commander-in-chief because he is timid and he has been weak. That is not leadership, and what is it going to mean for the next conflict that may arise sometime over the next 3 years? Is he going to be ready? And who is going to take him seriously? Because I assure you, the Taliban does not take them seriously at all. End quote. Now, what if he's right, and another crisis that's even worse arises, like war? What if war breaks out in the next 3 years? Well, the answer to that is, well, I don't know. But because we're a finance channel, I can tell you how to make money or prevent your money from dropping in your portfolio because of war or uncertainty. Recently, I made a video about government contractors and how their stocks react very well in times of military activation. For instance, if you invested $10,000 into the top 5 government contractors, you would have over $100,000 right now, which is what I talked in depth about in my last video. However, government contractors will be one of your best bets to retain or grow your money in times of military movement, or you could invest into indexed ETFs or a multitude of various blue chip stocks. All of those strategies will do you pretty well, but government contractors are definitely going to be the best, or you could invest into ARKX, which is an ETF by ARK Invest. The good news is that Biden has maintained his prerogative of getting and wanting all Americans to evacuate Afghanistan as soon as possible. However, to the degree of which we can achieve this evacuation by August 31st is still unknown. Hopefully that deadline can be pushed further out, or even once that deadline passes, I really hope that people who want to leave the country can leave the country freely from the Taliban. Even the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, who is Representative Adam Schiff, thinks that it's possible to evacuate all of these people by that deadline, but doesn't think it's very likely. He says that there are still many Americans that are still behind enemy lines, such as the press, civil society leaders, women leaders. Imagine all the people and all the things we could accomplish if we just had more time instead of the end of the month. In a more direct statement, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said, forget about the August 31st deadline, and we should just focus on getting Americans out of Afghanistan. During this evacuation from Kabul, many Americans and allies are still waiting to be rescued, and to make matters even worse, the Taliban has blocked roads to the airports, which will prevent people, or at least hinder them from leaving. For the people who do get evacuated, they most likely are being landed in third-party countries, where officials there are working hard to make sure that these people have food, water, and medical supplies. But what are your thoughts? Do you think the August 31st deadline will be moved or extended, or will it be pushed even further up? Will we get everyone out in time? Like this video for more stock news videos, subscribe and turn on all notifications if you are new, and I'll see you in the next YT video.